Right then lads, today we're going to be looking at the Black Friday Cup objectives. If you guys are new to my objective guide series, all new objectives EA release, I go ahead, look at, and with the Black Friday Cup today, I'll explain how it works. It's quite self-explanatory, but basically break down the game mode that you have to play it in, along with building you guys a squad builder, which I know could be a little bit tough. A squad builder is usually the hardest part, and then we'll get into a couple tips, a couple life hacks that can help you perform better and hopefully get you some more wins in the Black Friday Cup. As you can see, for winning 2 matches, you get 2 80+ rated players. Same with winning 4, winning 6, winning 8 gives you an 83+ player, and winning 10 also gives you an 83+ player. And if you do manage to win all 10, as you can see below my webcam, you get yourself an 84+ rare gold pack. Now, if you want to go ahead, play the Black Friday Cup game mode, go on over to play. Go on over to friendlies, go on over to play online, and you just have to simply search for the Black Friday Cup. I'm already on it, but if you do click onto it, you'll be on the screen. You scroll on over to the right and the Black Friday Cup. Now what we will focus on straight away is the requirements for this game mode. The requirements: you need World Cup players, at least 8 in your starting 11, at most 3 countries, and 0 lone players are allowed. So the at most 3 countries I know will definitely be a little bit tricky for a few of you guys when you build your squad. As for the World Cup players, they do not mean Path to Glory, World Cup heroes, World Cup icons. They do not count. World Cup players that they're talking about are the red cards with the little timer. I'll show you guys shortly. Basically the cards that we get in every single pack with the picks that you choose from, that's the World Cup players they're talking about. So you need at least 8 of them in your starting 11. Along with that, you can have only at most 3 different nations. Now, if you look on over to the left, you've got 7 days to complete this objective with 4 matches every single day. As you can see, you have to play with 4 matches, then in 22 hours, 54 minutes, that will refresh and you'll get another 4 matches. So if you are wanting to do the Black Friday Cup, make sure you play your 4 games every single day, alright lads? It is a classic match as well, so it'll be like any other match, 6 minutes a half, like any other game mode, right? So it's basically, you know what, and with skill-based matchmaking in friendlies, this is literally just division rivals with World Cup players going for the requirements. Now, for the squad builder, lads, we're going to go ahead, we're going to build you up a squad builder, and I say build you up a squad builder, more so tell you how to build the squad. Now, the reason I cannot build you guys a squad builder is because I do not know what World Cup players you have in your club, and you cannot buy them from the market. But first of all, you want to make a new team, have it looking like this. Choose the formation you are most comfortable with. So I'll just stick with a 4-4-2. I do not mind the 4-4-2, but if you like the 4-2-3-1, then you'll go for that. Now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and choose the World Cup players, which these are the cards that they mean. Search your club and you simply want to look for the best ones in your team. Benzema is nice, but what you really want to focus on is the amount of good players from a particular nation, alright? Because remember, you're only allowed at most 3 nations. So I've got a Portuguese Bernardo Silva, my webcam's kind of covering it. I've also got a Portuguese João Cancelo, so that's 2 very usable Portuguese players. There's a German Rudiger. You know what? We'll go ahead and we'll search France. See which most of the usable players I've got here. It's quite a few usable French players, so I'm going to go for France. But remember, this just depends. These are players I've packed. This just depends on the players, the World Cup players you guys have got. So choose the nation that you have the most usable World Cup players from. So I'll go ahead and choose France. I'll use Griezmann up top with Karim Benzema as my other striker. Pogba goes at left mid. Remember, we need 8 players, alright? Pogba can go in the midfield. So how much is that? It's 4 players. We'll head on over to the defense. We've got Koundé. We can chuck Koundé there. What about my other centre backs? Upamecano is definitely more than usable as well. I know I had a goalkeeper spot open, so we can go ahead and chuck my Nan in there. And then at right mid, we can go ahead and go for Diaby. I think that's my most usable French players, and that is indeed 4, yeah, that's 8 of them. That's 8 of them. So we've got 1 nation. Remember, you can only have at most 3. So now for this part here, you're going to have 3 blank positions. Your blank positions may be different than mine, but with your blank positions, you'll go ahead and you'll go to your club and you'll just choose your best midfielder or your best player for that position. For me, Thiago, Spanish, I could do that. Thiago, I'll slot in as my other centre mid. He is Spanish, which means we want to keep the Spanish theme going, because remember, you cannot have more than 3 nations. I can go for Capdevila at left back. I'm happy with that. That means right back, I could probably have a completely different nation. We'll go ahead and we will choose Hakimi from Morocco. As you can see, that's 3 nations, France, Spain, and Morocco, so we're not allowed any other nations. As well, for the bench, I'm not sure if the bench will count, but just in case, make sure you fill the bench up with players from a player from, so for me, it would have to be, the bench would have to be full of players from either France, Spain, or Morocco, so we do not go over that nation cap. So I'll just go ahead, choose France, just go low to high, and chuck them on your bench. So I'll go like that. Boom, you need what, there's 7 subs, right? So I'll just choose 7 French players, get them going, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that this does indeed work to go into the game, and then we'll get in to the tips. As you can see, Black Friday Cup, and boom. Now, I'm actually going to have a look. Do the countries count on the bench? Because I may as well have a look, because if they don't, that could give me another tip. Do the countries on the bench count? They do. So yes, you need to make sure your bench is full of the same players, or the players from the same nation as the players in your squad, alright? So go here, just get a French man on there, and we can go into the game. Lone players, okay. I had it right the first time. Tip number 1, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be custom tactics. Custom tactics, in my opinion, is very important because not much people use them in friendly game modes. Now, I'm not going to give you guys some certain custom tactics to use, but what I do really like this year is direct passing for balanced, and if you do want to edit your attacking and defensive ones as well, I do recommend fast build up for attacking and even press after possession loss if you want. Now, as for in-game as well, if you really do want to change formations, you could do that for your like attacking defensive. You could start as a 4-3-3 and change in-game to a 4-1-2-1-2 second variation, something like that, you know. Because so much people in friendly game modes, they're going to make a new team, they're going to get the requirements, and they're just going to leave all their custom tactics unbalanced. They're not going to change their in-game formation, they're not going to do player instructions. So if you do that yourself, it will give you a little bit of an advantage. And what you could do is you could copy your custom tactics for your main team, something that you're used to. If you do not run custom tactics on your main team, then there's plenty of videos on YouTube. I've even got some videos of my own for custom tactics on my own YouTube. There is a created playlist in my playlist section if you do want to check that out. So as I mentioned, make sure you choose custom tactics. You may want to copy the ones from your main team, something that you're used to, something that you're comfortable with. Now, tip number 2 and the final tip for the day is going to be chemistry styles. Chemistry styles, in my opinion, are so important, especially for the lower rated players, because it can make them perform a lot better in game. For example, this card right here, he is on 0 out of 3 chemistry points, which means I probably wouldn't worry about putting a chemistry style on him, because as you can see, he gets absolutely no boost whatsoever. Now, Ryan Kent, on the other hand, is on 1 out of 3 chemistry points, which I still think is not so much worth putting a chemistry style, because he only gets +1s on the board, and I think that's just a little bit of a waste. As for players that are 2 out of 3 chemistry points or more though, I do think that is where you're going to want to start getting some chemistry styles on them. For example, Ben Yedder is on 2 out of 3 and he's starting to get some +2s throughout the board. Therefore, I think all of your players that are at least 2 out of 3 chem points, it's worth getting a chemistry style on them. You can do so by going to Apply Consumable and going over to your Chemistry Style tab. There you will see all of the chemistry styles in your club. You've got attacking, midfielders, defending one as well. I would avoid using hunters though, because you don't really want to use that. It's a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit excessive for objectives. Now, this is a prime example of chemistry styles. Player of the month Valverde, who is on 3 out of 3 chemistry points, so the maximum points. As you can see, he's got an engine applied. With this engine attributes boost, he goes to 94 pace in game, roughly 89 or 90 passing. He gets a nice dribbling boost as well. So it just goes to show, get the chemistry styles on your players. I think all of your players that are on at least 2 chemistry points, and it will benefit them in game. As you can see, literally, if I was to position modify my Karim Benzema to make him a striker, as you can see, everyone is on full chemistry except for, say, Thiago and Hakimi, but chemistry styles will be absolutely crucial. I've already got a Hawk on my Griezmann, which I've used in the past, so he gets +4 pace, gets a shooting boost, a physical boost. Karim Benzema, might want to go ahead, chuck a catalyst on him, maybe a marksman. So yeah, go through all of your players players, and especially your World Cup players, which I assume you will not have any chemistry styles on them, give a chem styles on them, just give them that little boost in game. So ladies and gentlemen, for the recap, you want to go ahead, obviously go to the game mode after building your squad. Your squad builder, you need 8 World Cup players, so choose the players from your World Cup, like from the World Cup players in your squad that are from a common nation, if that makes sense. So France, maybe England, choose your best players, you want to choose 8 of them. You'll have a few blank places in your squad that you want to use your best players that you have in your club anyway, maybe in your main team. Reminder, be wary of the max 3 nations. Make sure the bench is all from players from the same nation from a player in your squad, so you do not go over that. Make sure you set up your custom tactics. Make sure you get the chem styles going. Make sure you play all 4 of your games every 24 hours, so you got your highest possible chance to get all 10 of these wins and get yourself the 84 plus pack. Good luck, boys, and happy grinding.